Punk comes out because Drew does mention him a little bit about how people come back and they're just like, welcome with open arms and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, that's true. Yeah. And so the irony in all of this is that he says, you know, Drew, since he's been back, that all Drew does is talk. And it's like, Punk, you've wrestled one time, brother. Like, all you've been
twice.
doing is
he did 2 live events.
Okay, whatever. But I'm just like, oh, that's all you've been doing, sir, on television. But anyway, and then he just sits on the ropes and lets Drew talk. And Drew congratulates him on lasting a month in WWE without leaving or being fired or throwing a temper tantrum or something. And he says that, you know, I know you the best because we traveled the world together back in the day, and I know who the real CM Punk is. And he says, he talks about how Punk was considered a leader back then. And he said he would go in the back when he was champion and be like, I'm a locker room leader. And he was like, yeah, but except if you're a leader, you don't have to say you're a leader. And I'm like, Drew is me. Drew is me. I'm like, this is me. Yes, Drew.
He is me. Yeah.
He's me. And yeah, he is.
He really is. I like, yeah, he's very you. It's to a T.
And he says, at that time in his life that Drew was saying at that time in his life, he really needed a leader to help him out because he had lost his mom. His career was kind of just like in a tailspin. And he said, you know, him and Punk were close. They were traveling together. So he thought that maybe Punk could be that person for him. But Drew believes that Punk saw him more as a threat. And so he didn't do anything to help Drew because he was only in business for himself. Who said that before? I don't know. And he said, you didn't have any issues because you're straight edge. Like, you don't drink, you don't do anything. Like, you don't have demons. You're the demon. And I was like,
that was a hell of a line. I gotta give that was a hell of a line.
He's a demon. And then he also called him a narcissistic succubus. And he said, you know what? Actually, I'm the leader now. So, and he dabbed. And then Punk was like, okay, well, if you need a leader, then you can shave your head and pledge your allegiance to the straight edge society, because that ain't me.
I loved it. That was, you know me and my callbacks. Like, if you give me a good callback like that, champ's all in.
He said that he was only back to win the Rumble and to main event WrestleMania, that he's not a demon, that he's actually Satan himself, and that he's generally a nice guy, but he won't be if he feels like he doesn't need to be. But then Drew comes back and he's like, yeah, well, I've won the Rumble and I've main evented WrestleMania, something that you haven't done, except I did it in front of nobody because it was during the pandemic and I was trying to do it for the fans. But this time I am declaring for the Royal Rumble and I am going to win, and I am going to go on to main event WrestleMania and win the title, but I'm going to do it for myself. Punk then threatens to beat him up, which I had to say LOL, because dude gets in his face and he's like a foot taller.
That was tough.
50 pounds heavier.
I'll give you that was kind of tough, but I like the move out of Punk. Punk didn't need to talk that much in this. I think this was a more Drew has to be the dominant voice in this.
Yeah, I mean, he says that, just to finish before, he says he's going to go and get what he wants as his Punk, and that Seth, Cody, him are not going to get in his way because he is going to win the Rumble and he is going to knock Drew out of the Rumble if he has to. And that was when he just walked out acting like he just won some sort of...
He'll do it last.
So,
all right.
yeah, that's disgusting. So my thoughts on this was Drew has come such a long way, first of all, and talking, like, he's so captivating. And again, I would compare him to who I've talked about being really good on the mic, and that's Sami Zayn, in the sense of sounding so genuine and real and like actually speaking from life experience and emotion, where you kind of forget that it's script, you know, or like an act, you know. And I feel like Drew has gotten to that point, and I think he would be like that no matter what, but because this storyline and whatever he's doing right now, he is able to talk so much about his personal life and bring that to the surface and like build upon that to be why he's in the position that he's in. I feel like that's why he's able to thrive, and we're able to see this, because there are only you know, a handful of wrestlers really that are able to do that, and it's believable. You know, a lot of people need to have an extreme character because it's like they have to be so different from themselves for it to be
Mhm.
believable. And Drew's not that guy. But I do think he acts like absolutely slaughtered Punk on this. Like, and the reason I say this is
Mhm.
because the reaction online was bizarre to me. The fact that there were people saying that this was a promo battle, no. Secondly, the
No,
fact that
wasn't a
people were
battle.
saying Punk wiped the floor with him.
I don't
What?
think he wiped the floor with him either, but I don't think Punk got manhandled either.
I
I
think
think I
he
don't think
got
he got manhandled, but Drew came out the dominant one out of this.
I think, but
Easily. That I agree
my
with.
reason for saying he got manhandled is because if you think about Punk, he's infamous on the mic. So we didn't see that side of him. And I'm not saying that we needed to, but I'm saying like you expect him to be
Okay.
good every single time. He wasn't that great last night. And I think part of it is
That's
because
how.
it's weird to see him in a baby face, like I'm so happy to be here type of role, that I think that's partly why I'm also kind of like, eh. But I do think that Drew was just so good that it's like I feel like he deserved to be recognized more for this segment than Punk did.
Yeah, he outshined him. Absolutely outshined him. To me, I don't think this was an amazing promo or awful promo or whatever from Punk. I just thought it was good. I thought it was the CM Punk of now where he's just speaking, talk about, from the heart, past experience, all that. I mean, who better than CM Punk, who basically lives the character?